What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be talking about 5 big mistakes to avoid as a business owner. So I wanted to talk about some mistakes that I believe are really important to avoid as a business owner. These are some of the things that I had trouble with, especially in my earlier businesses, that I wish somebody would have warned me about when I was starting out. So number one, underpricing your services or products. This is a common problem, especially for people that want to do things quick. You know, when you're starting a business, sometimes the first thing that you want to do is just offer your service or product for the best price possible so you can go into the market at a better price than your competitors. What this does sometimes is, number one, sometimes undervaluing your product or service can actually be of a negative effect to you because people can perceive the lower cost as lower value, and they could be valuing your service or product a lot less just because of the price. By pricing your product or service lower, sometimes that means that you are actually not profiting enough to have a sustainable business. And when you're in business, the goal is to scale, the goal is to grow, and the goal is to stay in business. When you are undercutting your competitor, and by undercutting your competitor, you're not making enough profits to have a sustainable business and run a profitable business, that's just a recipe for failure. So I suggest doing your research. I could do a whole other video on just pricing a service or product, which I think I should do, but basically just avoid that mistake of underpricing your service or product. Mistake number two, not knowing who your target audience, target customer is. Again, when you're first starting out, everything is so exciting and you just want to move forward so quick and you just want to get things started. I know a lot of these things that you don't really think about in the beginning, especially if you're young. I started really young and some of these questions weren't really things that were coming to my head. But a very important thing is knowing who your target customer and target audience is, because when you know who your target audience or who your target customer is, it's just better to reach them, because whether you're doing organic or paid advertisement, it's always important to know who you're talking to, because then when you talk to your target audience or your target customer, you want to be speaking to that target audience, and you wouldn't speak to an 18-year-old the way that you would speak to a 50-year-old, because they're just not going to have the same connection to your product or service. So that is a very important thing to do. I suggest study and know who your target audience and customer is. Number three, not making the right investments. Especially when you're starting out, if you don't have that much money or that many resources, it's very important to know where you're gonna put your money and what investments you're gonna do with the profits that you get from the business. Because sometimes when you're first starting out, you want to just buy things that aren't going to be beneficial to your business or to your customers. And doing that, it's going to hurt your business instead of help your business. Instead, you should be thinking on what you're going to invest in next whenever you do have profits, or whenever you do get the next round of funding or the next investment, whenever you get some capital in general. Where are you going to be investing? Are you going to be doing marketing? Are you going to be doing research, product research, inventory, hiring? These are questions that you should be asking yourself before you have the money, because when you do get the money and you have the money to invest, sometimes you're not investing in the right things, and that can really hurt your business in the long term. Number four, lack of strategy. This is something that I myself have lacked in a lot of my earlier businesses, and it's not having a strategy. Sometimes you are just so busy with the day-to-day that you forget that you need a strategy to succeed and to bring your business forward. And I believe this is really, really important, because for any business, you need to follow a strategy. And this strategy might change week to week, month to month, quarter to quarter, but it's very important to build the strategy first and then reevaluate this strategy, so then you have something that you can actually execute on. And that brings me to number five, not executing. It is very nice to have all these things planned out, you know, your pricing, who your target audience is, where you're going to invest your money, and your strategy. But none of this matters if you don't execute. And this is something that a lot of people forget. You write a lot of things down, you plan a lot, but you don't execute. You take a course, you don't execute. You get capital, and you're not executing on the right investments. So one thing that you have to keep in your head and the mindset in general should be to always execute. No matter what, every day you should come into work, come into your business ready to execute a plan, ready to execute an investment, ready to execute a deal. So executing is very important. Executing. That's like my number one thing. An idea is good, strategy is good, but nothing matters without execution. Don't forget that. Engrave that in your mind. That's pretty much it. I wanted to make this short and sweet. If you guys have any questions, comments, please let me know. I want to keep making these videos for you guys. It helps myself, and hopefully it helps others in their business journey or in anything that you're doing. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.